Hello, my friends. Recently, I've come up with one interesting idea. People often say, I'm not interesting enough to start a YouTube channel, and I don't really understand this thought. Interesting compared to whom? You know what? As far as you know, there will be always someone richer than you, smarter than you, funnier than you, and of course more successful than you. If that's the standard, then almost nobody should ever create anything. The strange thing is that we don't actually look for perfect people when we search for answers online. We look for someone who has already been where we are. A few years ago, you knew less than you know today. You made mistakes, you changed your mind, figured things out, and kept moving. None of that felt special while it was happening because it was simply your life. But imagine meeting someone who is exactly where you were 5 years ago. You could probably save them months of frustration with a single conversation, right? So, that's the value of experience. It doesn't have to be extraordinary. It only has to be real. I reckon we underestimate how much we learn just by living. Changing countries teaches you things. Losing relationships, working with difficult people, and of course, building something from nothing also teaches you things. Even falling teaches you things that success never could. And the problem is that we get used to our knowledge. After a while it feels obvious, so we assume everyone else already knows it too, but usually they don't. The internet gives us the impression that only experts deserve attention, like people with expensive studios, perfect lighting, and millions of followers. But think about the last video that genuinely helped you. Was it helpful because the creator was famous, or because they explained something in a simple, honest way? I think honesty is underrated. People can tell when someone is speaking from experience instead of repeating ideas they borrowed from somebody else. That's why I don't believe you need permission before you start creating. You don't need to become interesting first. Sometimes the process works in the opposite direction. You become more interesting because you keep creating. Recording your thoughts forces you to organize them. Explaining an idea forces you to understand it better. Speaking to a camera builds confidence in a way that thinking never will. At first, of course, it feels uncomfortable. Then, it feels normal. Eventually, you forget the camera is even there. Most people never reach that point because they stop before anything has a chance to change. So, if you've been waiting for a sign that your life is worth talking about, maybe this is it. The story doesn't have to be unique in the history of humanity. It only has to be useful to the person who hears it at the right moment. And sometimes that's enough to make pressing the record button completely worth it.